Welcome to Coffee Havoc number 2. My name is James Williams Jr. This video is very important for those who are fighters and those who are fighters. Alright, so I've never had a professional fight, but I've been in a fuck ton of street fights since I was a child. You guys can take that information any way you want. Either you're going to believe me or you're not. And I'm cool either way, because if you don't believe me, that's fine. If you do believe me, that's fine. Everybody who personally knows me knows that I'm not a liar. I don't tell lies. I don't have time to work that hard. So, here's the thing. This is a blood red cover, alright? And this is a different red. They're almost the same. You know, almost. And this is an even brighter red. Alright? By comparison, I've given you 3 red objects. Alright? Why did I do that? I did that as a means to an end. Because there are people who can fight, and there are people who think they can fight. And then there are people like me who know we can fight, but haven't been in a fight in a very, 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 very long time. I try to avoid fights when at all possible. I do not like people delegitimizing my martial arts without actually giving me a fucking fight. And I don't go around delegitimizing anyone else's martial arts. I tell everybody, look, if you ain't fought that person, you should probably keep your mouth shut. It's really that simple. I'm not a boxer. My nephews poke fun at beating me in boxing, but they won't fight my fight where I can use my feet. They cower out really quickly. Oh, we can fuck you up boxing. Yeah, you can. I'm not a boxer. I can fight, but I'm not a boxer, which is why I brought that up. Now, I have gloves. I got all that shit. But none of them will go one-on-one with me where my feet can be used, which literally means 2 things. 1, I'm a lot better than they think I am. Or 2, they are a lot worse than they think they are. But they are honest about it. And here's the thing about being honest. If you're honest with yourself, you have no worries. If you think you're a badass, there's always going to be someone who's going to knock you on your ass. Alright? I've never claimed to be a badass. I've always told people I hold my own. I lost 1 sparring match in this family has never let me live it down. But at the same time, those same people would never face me or fight me. So when you weigh the pros and cons on that, I win for the simple fact that you had to go get a ringer to do your job when you're supposed to be a badass and fight me. Now the guy I had a sparring match with and lost, he never came back. He would not fight me day after day after day after day. Then my cousin died, he came and he ran all his mouth and all his shit. I stood outside for roughly between 6 and 7 hours waiting to have our fight, which he never showed up. He later went on to become an ISK champion, etc., etc. And I'm like, you're a paper champion because you didn't fight me. I don't know where that guy is and I don't care. I'm over it. We're good. But I will say that you don't pick a fight with a bear when you only have a stick and not an elephant gun. You don't pick a fight with an angry lion. And more importantly, you don't pick a fight with a mother when she's after her cubs. So, there's one more thing you don't fuck with. And that's a wounded animal, which I have become due to the military and this hip replacement. And that kind of makes me more dangerous now than I've ever been in my life because I don't want to be wounded forever. And I'm probably never ever going to be back up to 100% with my martial arts because of my hip replacement. And the fact that I need a second hip replacement is no fun. But at the same time, I know what I'm capable of. The point out there is that none of you know what I'm capable of. And not being given the proper chance or the proper introduction kind of helps. But we're going off track. Knowing that you can fight and thinking you can fight are 2 different manners. Right? And you have to remember that because if you've never been in a fight, then you don't know if you can fight. That's the most important thing right there. Don't say you can fight if you've never been in a fight. Because that's a real hard pill to swallow when you actually get into some shit and you can't get out without being able to fight your way out. You know, if you ain't never really been in a fight and you're going around, I can fight, I can fight, I can fuck niggas up, I can fight. Okay? But hopefully, while you're doing all that, you've actually had some fighting experience. Where if you haven't, the only thing you're going to be fighting is the Sandman because you're going to fight to sleep. Now, on the other hand, if you're like me, I was forced to fight since I was a child. I fought since the age of 6 to the age of 12 until my dad put a stop to that shit. You know, I had to fight. I didn't have a choice in the matter. It was a fight. There was all to that. And I have reached out and apologized to most of the people that I have fought that I can remember fighting. Couple of the concussions, so I don't remember everybody. I know I never lost. And if you're out there watching, Jonah says he's sorry. And if you accept it, thank you. And if you don't accept it, thank you. You're entitled to your opinion. Now, why did I use that? Because that was the name I was going under while I was fighting. Alright? Jonah, a comic book character from DC Comics. Because my real name is James, and for the first 6 years of my life, I went by Jonah until I got into grade school in the 5th grade, which I was 5, and I couldn't find my name. And the teacher's like, well, what is your name? I said, well, my name is Jonah. Oh, you must be James. I was like, no, my name is Jonah. He's like, no, your name is James. And after I learned that was my name, I never went back to Jonah. I just kept with James. But from 6 to 12, you know, fight was fight. And most of the people in the projects that we fought and other places knew me as Jonah. So, to you all that I have fought at the ages of 6 to 12, I apologize. Anybody between the ages of 12 to 15 that I have fought, I make no apologies because I was generally the victim of an attack. Alright? Specifically that one whole week, which was the last time I ever got into a fight until I got my eye jacked by some guy bunny skipping to hit me in a van that my cousin stole. Prior to that, you know, my last fights was back when I was 15. You know, I fought one whole week except for Wednesday. I fought on Monday, I fought on Tuesday. Tuesday was more like an argument, not so much of a fight. Wednesday was like my day off. Thursday I got to fighting with the guy who I got to arguing with his brother. So that happened because he went and got a stick and I got an iron pipe and I said, you go first. And so that broke down after I kicked him and 3 other guys off me because we were playing wrestling. And Ronnie Garvin doesn't know Kung Fu, but James does. So anyway, that being said, then the last guy happened on a Friday, and that happened in the big children's park. And after that, nobody ever really wanted to fuck with me anymore. So there were witnesses. I definitely know my shit. And anybody watching, they know I know my shit. So you have to actually have some fighting experience before you say you know how to fight. And I'm not picking on anyone specifically. I'm not trying to be a dick about this shit. But you have to have some fighting experience before you run around hollering and hooping and talking to anybody. Yeah, I can fight, motherfucker, I can fight. I'm the baddest motherfucker on the planet, I can fight. Okay, well here's that thing about being the baddest motherfucker on the planet and being able to fight. There's always someone who wants a piece of you. There's always going to be someone who's quicker, better, or smarter, or, my favorite, more prepared. So, I am not a strong fighter. I do not have upper body strength, is what I mean by that. But my legs are pretty goddamn good. At least they were before the hip replacement. And the doctor said, no more wushu. You can do everything but wushu. No more aerial kicks. No more flying through the air. None of the shit that you love to do. I still do tornado kicks every now and again. No wushu kicks though. No wushu landing with the split-legged lands. None of that shit. Doctor said that is not a fucking option. Your metal hip may not be durable enough to do that. Which is another reason why I'm pretty sure no one's going to sign me to get into a ring. That's not going to happen. I can almost guarantee no one's going to say, oh, you have a metal hip. We can't legally let you fight because you don't have a ground game and your BJJ sucks. So if someone puts you in a toe hold or an ankle lock or something that can do damage to your hip, you're done. And me being the idiot from the military that I will never quit, you're going to have to kill me and I don't want to have to tap out. So that's probably going to be something that's going to fucking happen whether I like it or not. And those things do happen. You know, they definitely do happen. You know, you might not want to tap out, but you can and will tap out. My cousin Emmett put me in the ankle lock and I tapped out. So, you know, we don't do any lies here. But that was because my dumb ass allowed him to put me in the ankle lock. He knows the conversation. They put you in the ankle lock. Okay. And he damn near tried to break my motherfucking ankle. I learned 2 things from that. 1, never let someone put you in the ankle lock. And 2, even if it's family, they will try to hurt you. So, yeah. But he has never sparred with me in a martial art match. And neither is anyone else in my family that loves to talk and complain and call me bitch nigger and all this other shit. But me and him ain't never really had it like a bad relationship. No. But then again, I'm only speaking from my point of view. He probably could have hated my guts and I just didn't know it. Because most people that hate you, you won't know it until they turn the knife in your back. Remember that. But the thing about fighting, you have to have some fighting experience. You have to have been in more than one fight with one victory. You may not have lost, but you still need fighting experience. I have never lost a fist fight, a real one. Now, I will say, I have lost a lot of fights with my big sister. She used to beat my ass on a daily basis. And that's why I'm tough as nails now. So don't think that a woman can't beat your ass. My big sister used to beat my ass all the fucking time. Which is also how I got good at fighting. I've learned what not to do. And also, all the kung fu in the world got nothing on a fucking windmill. Just putting that out there. But when you think you can fight versus you know you can fight, it's a different ballgame. Now, most fighters who know they can fight, we try to avoid fights, especially if you're not going to get paid for it. If I got to fight you on the street, it's because I had no way out. It's like my back was against the wall, or there was more than one of you, and it was you or me and your friend. And in that case, I'm going to fight. Because I did have that happen. You know, I told y'all the story about being jumped at my job, you know, for showing off. Back in the 90s, I was showing off, and a friend of mine, his two friends decided they wanted to jump me at the dumpster at my job, and they found out the hard way that just because I'm 5'3" doesn't mean I'm easy pickings. So, you know, that was probably the last fight I actually had. Because the 15-year-old thing happened before we moved over here. And that happened when I was 17. So being 17, it was like, I was either 16 or 17, I don't remember. But I knew I was in my teens, and that happened out at Kegler's at the trash dumpster. I'm pretty sure those two guys will never forget me. And to you, I'm sorry. Y'all came at me, and you paid for it. Anyway, bottom line, you have to have had some fighting experience. To think you can fight is great. To know you can fight is way better. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, people who think they can fight wind up getting fucked up really, really quickly. You know, and maybe they can fight. They just came across somebody who they didn't know could fight a little bit better. And there's always going to be someone who can fight a little bit better. However, there is a counter to that. Alright? And I'm going to tell you about that right now. The counter to fighting someone who fights better than you is to be more prepared. If you go and study every video that I have made on YouTube, and you jump out the bushes and think you're going to beat my ass, you got a fighting chance. I'll give you that. You got a fighting chance. Because if you can read all my moves before I can make them, you got a fighting chance. 9 times out of 10, I can almost guarantee you that no one's out there right now studying every video that you made. Now, they do this, and I'm going to tell you this in the second video.